Good evening. Glad that you are watching your channel of choice on TV 47 News tonight. Tonight, only a court decision stands in the way of a referendum now after the Senate passes the BBI bill with a clear majority without amendments. Nominated Senator Isaac Mwaura loses his seat after a long-drawn tussle with the Jubilee Party. His removal was announced by Speaker Kenneth Lusaka. Nairobi and Mogadishu at each other again. Kenya stops all flight from Somalia, citing unclear details over the normalization of diplomacy. And schools and students continue celebrating examination results. And Wairimu is our sign language interpreter. Good evening, I'm Abubakar Abdullahi. Welcome to the broadcast. To our top story tonight, and little-known schools have elbowed out some giant schools to earn a spot among learning institutions that recorded an exemplary performance in the just-released KCSE examination results. Our senior education affairs reporter Sharon Baranga visited Uhuru Secondary School in Nairobi's Eastlands area, where for the first time since its inception, the school is sending half of KCSE class of 2020 to university.
The community surrounding Uhuru Estate in Nairobi's Eastlands area burst into song and dance. Their children, students at Uhuru Boys Secondary School, have done them proud. Kennedy Wathome and Rodney Baraza were in the class of 2020 that has put this school on the map in terms of performance.
Shule yetu, I know, hata ukitafuta kwa Google, our name is very bad. The name of this school is very bad, and it's because of vile imekuwa there before. Tumekuwa na jina mbaya. Hata ulikuwa unaambiwa Uhuru Secondary si mahali kwa kupeleka watoto. But we came in, we have fought so many battles, na ndio maana tumefika mahali tumefika.
The journey wasn't easy because, especially that during the time of Corona, it was difficult because, you know, online classes, I didn't attend online classes, but you'd hear that, oh, some other people are attending online classes. So it was tough because you're like, people are attending online classes and you're not attending online classes, so you're going to be defeated.
The school has not been known for a while, but you are proud that we have come to the top now. At least you can post some students to the university.
When I came here, the school was more of boys who had been rejected in other schools. Expelled from other schools are the ones who are fully. The community didn't want their kids here because of the bad image. They say these boys used to mug boy, teacher, people outside there. A lot of drugs. When I came, actually, the drugs were just too much. Yeah. But I want to thank God that through the coordination of counseling, a lot of motivational talks, and with the content, giving them content and giving them hope, we have been able to manage drugs to almost nil.
Uhuru Secondary School was started in 1989, and from 1992 to 2015, the school posted only 24 students to university. But this narrative is changing.
For now, the 5 years, I've taken over 70 to the university. Actually, 73.
In 2015, no student went to university from this school.
Then 2016 was my first results, and I was able to take 8 boys from 0.
In 2016, 8 made it to university. In 2017, only 3 got the pass mark of C+ and above. In 2018, 8 joined universities. In 2019, the number shot to 17, and in 2020, the school has doubled that number to 35 students joining university. At Mukuru Kwanjenga Informal Settlement, another school is celebrating. Glorious Secondary School in Embakasi South has been done proud by its former Form 4 students, the class of 2020. For the first time, they are having candidates graduate out of high school with B's and C's for their grades. 6 students from this school will be joining university. So, is going to a certain school a guarantee of good performance? Education Cabinet Secretary has been complaining that he has been receiving numerous messages from parents requesting their children to be enrolled in specific schools. But with the emergence of little-known schools now getting the spotlight in terms of performance, maybe, just maybe, it only takes hard work and being persistent at it.
The message here, ladies and gentlemen, is very clear. This, I don't know whether to call it madness or lack of knowledge, that you must go to the Panganis and Kenya high schools of this world.
The government has assured the 2020 KCSE candidates that they will all get enrollment in institutions of higher learning. That is from universities, TVET institutions, TTCs and medical training colleges. Sharon Baranga, TV 47.
Well, still on matters, KCSE and Butere Girls High School reclaimed its lost glory by emerging top in Kakamega County in the 2020 KCSE after posting a mean of 9.002 in the released results announced by Education CS Professor George Magoha on Monday. Many schools across the country continue to celebrate exemplary results, as Violet Auma now reports.
A number of schools in Kakamega County celebrated their exemplary KCSE results this year. Butere Girls High School was top on the list of best schools in Kakamega County after posting a mean of 9.002.
Our mean 2020 is at 9.002 from 2019, which was 7.7. We are very grateful because we requested God to help us reach our target, which was actually a target of 8.5. God has given us more than enough.
Other schools that performed well in the county are Kakamega High, Muhila Boys, Emalindi Girls, and Eshibinga Secondary School in Huisero Sub-County.
A plane, we had 4 candidates. A minus, we had 41 candidates. B plus, we had 83 candidates. B minus, we had 91 candidates.
Our boys tried the much they could, despite the COVID-19 challenges that somehow derailed our programs which we had in place and somehow interfered or took us back a bit from where we are before the schools broke off for the COVID-19 break. Have a considerable increase in number of students progressing to direct entry to university. From the previous 35, we have 50.
Our girls, we tried engaging them on online studies, though most of them do not have smartphones. So it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy for them to access. We could not do like online classes.
9.74 ya watahiniwa wote ambao tulikuwa nao ambao wanajiunga na chuo kikuu.
Principals of the schools say their candidates did their best despite coronavirus pandemic.
Had we had these girls in school throughout, I'm sure we would have surpassed our target of 6.1.
In Nakuru County, 2 former street boys defied odds by posting impressive results in KCSE this year. Stephen Dirangu and Ronnie Otieno both got a B- in the recent KCSE exams.
I was brought here in SCAN, where I have been fully sponsored from my primary school till I have finished my secondary school. And because I have done well in my secondary school, I know that I will be fully sponsored to my O-level studies.
Dorcas Jebiwot was the top student in Baringo County.
It's random castle wrestling and people are displaced oftenly. So being displaced from one place to another, you need to change schools and meet new people. So that was quite a challenge.
And in Murang'a County, Mugoiri Girls reclaimed its lost glory by posting a mean of 8.2 compared to 7.7 in the year 2019.
Na mara mingi huwa tunakuja mara mbili per week, na wanafunzi hawa wamekuwa wakionyesha kwamba wanajiamini, na tumekuwa tukiwaambia wakifanya ipasavyo, wao wanafunzi wako na maadili mema, hatimaye watapata kufaulu.
Violet Auma, TV47, Kakamega.
Elsewhere, Kenya has suspended flights into and from Somalia with immediate effect. The move now shows that the two countries are yet to restore their troubled relations, even after Somalia announced an end to the standoff last week. Mudhoni Maina now reports.
The diplomatic relations between Kenya and Somalia have once again hit a spot. Kenya has cancelled flights to and from Somalia with immediate effect. This shows that the ties in both countries are now singing a different song. In a statement released by the Kenya Aviation Authority, all passenger flights decamping for or arriving from Somalia will not be allowed for 3 months. Only humanitarian deliveries and medical flights will be allowed into and out of the country. Somalia's minister in charge of civil aviation, Duran Farah, however, says the decision by Nairobi to suspend the flights is peculiar. Last week, Somalia's spokesperson Abdi Rashid Hashi said that Somalia was restoring diplomatic relations with Kenya to 6 months of severing ties, accusing Nairobi of interfering with their affairs. A press release from Mogadishu announced that so as to keep and maintain the interest of neighbor lines, it has resumed its diplomatic relations with Kenya. Kenya says that Somalia did not restore its trade relations even after restoring diplomatic relations. So far, Somalia has also banned Miraa from Kenya from being sold in its territory. According to the chairman of the Miraa Farmers Association in Meru County, Kimathi Munjore, this move has affected them greatly as the market profit scales get thinner.
Kuwa mwaka moja na miezi kadhaa bila biashara yoyote ya miraa. Tangu corona ianze Kenya na hata kabla ya hiyo hatujafanya biashara yote ya miraa na soko ya Somalia.
Miraa farmers are urging the government to work on improving the diplomatic ties so that their business can get back on their feet.
Uliza serikali ya Somalia ifanye hiyo uhusiano iwe rasmi ili mazungumzo ya biashara ianze.
Mudhoni Maina, TV47.
Thank you, Mudhoni Maina, for that Nairobi-Mogadishu troubled relation report. Time for us to take a short break on TV47 News tonight. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more.
You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories. Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
Raukia siku njema na tunukiwa offers kila siku. Pata offers zote mahali pamoja ili uongeze zaidi, utume SMS zaidi na ubrowse zaidi.
Wewe usijali. Tuma namba ya kila supplier kwa hiyo soko. Ndio vile nitaongea na kila mmoja wao.
Very good. Piga *444 hash utunukiwe Credo double.
Raukia siku njema na tunukiwa offers kila siku.
Oh, hi. It's not what you're thinking. It's a cup of coffee. Coffee, movie. Together, coffee with movie. Every Sunday, 8 p.m. on TV 47, where we bring you interesting, enticing people. Well, we've concentrated on musicians.
Yeah. Yeah.
Producers.
So now I manage, because talent management and events management, I think was my passion.
Right about now, we want to go beyond to the counties and to other countries. I'll see you. Let the sun stand still like Joshua time for 3 hours.
You are watching TV 47, the home of untold stories.
Welcome back. Now the Senate has passed the BBI bill with a majority vote. During today's sitting, 51 senators voted for the bill, while 12 senators, mostly allied to Deputy President William Ruto, voted against the bill with 1 abstention from the vote. The bill will now be submitted to the President before it goes to the IEBC. Josh Onsare has the details.
After several debates of the passage of the BBI bill in the Senate, today 51 senators voted for the bill, 12 opposing and 1 abstaining from voting.
The senators, the ayes 51, the nays 12, abstention 1. The ayes have it.
After the passage in the Senate, ODM leader Raila Odinga, who is one of the main proponents of the bill, took to Twitter saying it is well in that the 2 houses have voted in favor of the bill.
For the 3rd time, and on behalf of the people of Kenya and for posterity, for the good of the nation, and for history to remember us, Madam Speaker, I vote a big no.
2.1 per million population of Nakuru County. I do not want them to be misled. And as such, Mr. Speaker, with a bulging debt, an economy of its on its knees, bread now being taxed, baby formula being taxed, I vote no to this excessive and affordable BBI and deception. I vote no.
Mr. Speaker, you cannot gag me.
Vote.
Mr. Speaker, I have the right to say the reason why I'm voting. I am voting. Yes. Muranga got 1 constituency, Kwale got 4.
Order, Senator. Order.
Nyandarua got 0 constituency.
Order,
I
Senator.
vote no.
Some senators earlier on wanted the bill to be subjected to amendments before it was read for the 3rd time. An idea majority senators voted against.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that a committee of the whole has considered the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill 2020 and its approval thereof without amendments.
The bill having been passed unanimously in both houses of parliament, the road to referendum is now clear. It's up to Kenyans to decide if the 2010 constitution will be amended or not through a referendum.
This has been the BBI bill, and we must always remember that the people who started it, the handshake people, and eventually now the people who are going to campaign for it are us and other people. So let's begin by also saying thank you to the President of the Republic of Kenya and the former Prime Minister and all the political leaders who have supported this process.
In the history of this House, no bill has been debated as vigorously and extensively and deeply as the bill we have passed this afternoon. Every single member desired to speak, and those who didn't speak probably are less than 10.
as this issue moves to referendum, that if at all the constitution is going to be amended, they should be ready for high taxation.
Elsewhere, a court has stayed the removal of nominated Senator Isaac Mwaura hours after Senate Speaker Ken Lusaka declared his seat vacant. Speaker Ken Lusaka had gazetted the vacancy without giving much details after months of legal battles with the Jubilee Party. Elizabeth Mutuku has more.
Mwaura's more than 3 years journey as nominated senator almost came to an abrupt ending on Tuesday after Senate Speaker Kenneth Lusaka declared his seat vacant through a Gazette notice. Lusaka said that the seat fell vacant from 7th of May without giving further details.
Order. Senators, take your seats.
Senator Mwaura has been in legal battles with the ruling Jubilee Party, which had sponsored him in the Senate and which has been pushing to remove him from the party's membership list for defiance.
On Tuesday, I will avail all the documents that led to that decision, because there are also other pending petitions, in my office, where action has not been taken, and there must be a reason why action has also not been taken.
During an earlier vote on Constitutional Amendment Bill 2020, Mwaura had voted to support the bill, contrary to his earlier stand on the bill.
Senator.
No. You said I will not speak.
Senator Kangata. Senator.
Debate ensued in the afternoon session on the presence of court orders barring Mwaura's purge. Section of senators were calling on the speaker to reverse his ruling, what seemingly was impossible.
And you being a seasoned administrator, being a leader, you should have relooked at those issues that exist on the table, Mr. Speaker, because, Mr. Speaker, if you allow this to slide, it is a threat to democracy, where when you don't agree or disagree with the opinion of your party or anybody else that has the power to remove you, they just remove you the way they wish, Mr. Speaker.
I want to go on record that this is a travesty of justice, whatever decision you take, and I hope the people of Kenya are taking notice.
But we are not going to help by pleading with you when the thing is already in the Gazette notice. Not even the President of the Republic of Kenya can do that, by the way. Once he gazettes something under an instrument of the law, it is over. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mwaura's woes deepened after he declared his support for Deputy President William Ruto's Tanga faction and the UDA party.
Familia ya Kenyatta walitawala miaka 15 na ingine inaenda kuisha 10. Hiyo ni miaka 50. Tunasema imetosheka hiyo, tusonge tujipange kama vijana. Kama namna gani? Hata sisi kwa watu wamezaliwa, hakuna mtu ambaye hajazaliwa hapa na baba yake.
However, the court has halted the removal of Mwaura as a senator pending the hearing and determination of his appeal. And the case will be heard on 24th of this month.
Mimi nimeingia Hustler Nation.
Elizabeth Mutuku, TV 47 Nairobi.
Let's get to matters health now, and the World Health Organization has given Sinopharm a Chinese-made COVID-19 vaccine emergency use approval license. The approval not only seen as a huge boost to the Chinese economy, but a rare opportunity for China to rise to the world's biggest manufacturer as India gets completely shut down by the ongoing surge in the COVID-19 infections. Our health reporter Zainab Mohammed now reports.
After the world's largest COVID-19 vaccine manufacturer, India, got completely shut down by a surge in COVID-19 infections, the World Health
gave emergency use listing to Sinopharm Beijing's COVID-19 vaccine, making it the 6th vaccine to receive WHO validation for safety, efficacy, and quality. This expands the list of vaccines that COVAX can buy and gives countries confidence to expedite their own regulatory approval and to import and administer a vaccine. The Strategic Advisory Group of Experts on Immunization, or SAGE, has also reviewed the available data and recommends the vaccine for adults 18 years and older with a 2-dose schedule.
The approval putting Sinopharm among 6 other vaccines under the COVAX facility, a program created to ensure countries with struggling economies are included in vaccine distribution. The move by WHO has been seen as a rare opportunity granted to China in becoming the world's largest COVID-19 vaccine manufacturer, as all doubts placed on vaccines made in China are dispensed, with WHO declaring Sinopharm safe for use. Sinovac, another vaccine also from China, is under consideration for approval by WHO and may receive emergency use license anytime from now. Zainab Mohammed, TV47.
From health matters, let's get to the corridors of justice. And Nyeri Court has ordered the release of a Toyota Prado motor vehicle belonging to Stephen Wangondu, the late Nyeri tycoon, accused of murdering his last-born son of a family feud. After he passed on last week, his family demanded the release of his vehicle, a wish they were granted. Elsewhere at the High Court in Nairobi, 2 police constables accused of murdering Janet Waiyaki 2 years ago at City Park have been found guilty of manslaughter. Mwangi Maina has more.
As murder charges that were pressed on 75-year-old Nyeri tycoon Stephen Wangondu comes to a close following his death 4 days ago, his Toyota Prado that had been held as an exhibit has finally been released to his family. Delivering the ruling, Lady Justice Florence Mushemi ordered the vehicle to be released to Wangondu's son David Moria within 3 days.
That the vehicle, that is KBA 583B Prado, be photographed and be released to the family of the deceased, in particular David Moria Wangondu, and I believe the prosecution can do that within another 3 days.
She, however, directed that the vehicle must not be disposed of until the case is heard and determined. The prosecution had also sought to have the charges of Geoffrey Warutumo, the 5th accused person, withdrawn on condition that he agrees to terms of being turned into a prosecution witness. Warutumo is facing charges of being in contact with James Mahinda, the 2nd accused, who was a former driver to Wangondu. Warutumo says Mahinda asked him to look for 2 persons who were to undertake an assignment that was not disclosed to him. At the High Court in Nairobi, 2 police constables charged with killing a businesswoman at City Park 3 years ago have been found guilty of manslaughter and not murder. Police constables William Chirchir and Godfrey Kirui were charged with the death of Janet Waiyaki that occurred on 20th May 2018. While delivering her ruling, Judge Stella Mutuko said that the force used by the officers was not proportional, there was no offense that had been committed, and there was no threat from the deceased and the other occupant of the motor vehicle, who happened to be Waiyaki's nephew.
My careful consideration of this element of murder, this is the malice aforethought, I'm persuaded to give the officers, that is the 2 accused persons, the benefit of doubt on that element, in that their intention was not to kill the deceased, even though this court finds that they acted against the law as I've stated. This brings me to the conclusion that the offense proved by the evidence before me is not that of murder, but that of manslaughter.
The 2 officers were operating on an alarm of terrorism in the City Park after the vehicle was deemed abandoned for a while. Janet and her nephew were shot at while fleeing the scene. Mwangi Maina, TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Mwangi Maina. And from the corridors of justice, time for us to take another short break. We'll be back after this break. Stay tuned.
Raukia siku njema na tunukiwa offers kila siku. Pata offers zote mahali pamoja ili uongee zaidi, utume SMS zaidi na ubrowse zaidi.
Wewe usijali. Tuma namba ya kila supplier kwa hiyo soko. Nitajuble nitaongea na kila mmoja wao.
Very good. Piga *444 hash utunukiwe Credo double.
Raukia siku njema na tunukiwa offers kila siku.
Oh, hi. It's not what you're thinking. It's a cup of coffee. Coffee, movie. Together, coffee with movie. Every Sunday, 8 p.m. on TV 47, where we bring you interesting, enticing people. Well, we've concentrated on musicians.
Yeah. Yeah.
Producers.
So now I manage, because telemanagement and events management, I think was my passion.
Right about now, we want to go beyond to the counties and to other countries. I'll see you. Let the sun stand still like Joshua time for 3 hours, but this time for only 1 hour. We bring you coffee with movie. Interesting, enticing guests. I'll see you. Tunaanza tuna Mombasa, Kisumu, Nakuru, twende Uganda, Magufuli Land, TZ, you never know. It is coffee with movie.
You are watching TV 47, the home of untold stories.
Welcome back to TV 47 News Tonight. Thank you for staying with us. Let's get to more news. And patients seeking medical services at Nyeri Referral Hospital are reportedly going through pain, agony and hard economic times due to lack of drugs and other essential health services at the facility. And as Daniel Masija now reports, most of the patients visiting the biggest hospital in Nyeri are forced to purchase their medical subscriptions in private pharmaceuticals.
Meet Grace Mudhoni, one patient who has been nursing her illness for 1 month at her home in Blue Valley after the Nyeri Referral Hospital failed to offer the necessary medical services.
Sasa nikakaa tukakaa saa tano kabla saa sita ifike ndio wakaambiwa sitaadmitiwa, na tulikuwa tumenunua mpaka pale kila kitu kilikuwa imetayarishwa. Sasa wakaambiwa tuende waende na mimi nyumbani kwa sababu hakuna pisha na hakuna usaidizi mwingine na isasaidika sababu hakuna dawa. Ndio tukaitisha taxi nikaletwa nyumbani.
Mudhoni's neighbor Isaac Kiruri echoes similar sentiments, saying that many patients are suffering at home due to poor medical services at the biggest referral hospital in Nyeri County.
Ameng'ang'ana na madawa, ameenda PGH, amepewa matibabu kiasi, lakini mpaka wakati aliandikiwa hii picha. Wakati aliandikiwa tulikuwa tunadhani atapigiwa huko PGH, lakini hakupigiwa huko. Akaenda Bliss na akapigwa pisha huko, sababu hapa PGH hakukuwa na nafasi hiyo machine haikuwa inafanya kazi. Sasa akaniita na akaniambia kama kuna uwezo wa kupata hiyo pesa, na vile tuliuliza kama hiyo picha inaweza patikana, tukaona huko mali inaweza patikana ni pale Madhari Hospital, na iko na pesa mingi sana sababu ni 70,000.
According to Wambugu Nyamu, a Nyeri resident, the hospital is running down due to nepotism, and lack of drugs is just a scapegoat, since some services like caring for patients do not need KEMSA to perform.
It looks like it only survived because of UHC. And therefore sometimes I want to appeal to the president. I think of all your priorities, I think you better return the UHC. Because to me that was the most important thing about the whole thing you had. Because when people are healthy and they're spending less money in health, they're able to participate in other developmental activities. without stress. But for the case of Provincial General Hospital, it is purely case of inefficiency, mismanagement and apathy.
Residents now want Nyeri County Governor Mutahi Kahiga to take responsibility for the mess at Nyeri Referral Hospital. Efforts to speak to the management were not fruitful. Daniel Masiza, TV47.
Moving on, chaos erupted during the handover of cows that were yesterday recovered by a multi-agency security team in Laikipia County after unknown youths tried to storm the police station with the intention of making away with the cattle. But the police officers intervened and calmed the situation, with the owners of the stolen cows being identified under stringent measures. Lekishon Laban with the details.
Nashukuru sana kwa sababu ya mpangilio huu ambao umetumika siku ya leo, watu kupatiwa mifugo yao, kuona ya kwamba mifugo haiendi bila obi, yani kusema ya kwamba wakati uliripoti hiyo utaratibu unafuatwa vizuri na obi inafuatwa kama uliibiwa kwa halali. Hayo mambo yote nimeona yakifuatwa vizuri, na wakati huu tunarudisha shukrani kwa serikali kuona ya kwamba wanashukua nafasi nzuri kuona ya kwamba wananchi ingawa waliibiwa mifugo yao wanafanya kila juhudi ili wananchi wapate kurejezewa mifugo yao.
Nimefurahi sana kwa kuona ng'ombe yangu, hata kama ninapata moja, hiyo ingine mimi najua itakuja tu, siku italetwa ingine, kwa maana hii kitu si ya kuiba. Sasa ninasema serikali asanti, kwa maana hata iko kuli siku tulikuwa nasema tujui sisi tutaenda wapi. Chakula tunafika saa 10, ati tukule tulale mapema. Lakini mimi naona sasa serikali inafanyia sisi kazi, na mimi nasema asante kwa serikali yetu.
Lazima uthibitishe. You have to convince us that ng'ombe yako iliibwa. Na uthibitisha lazima kuwe na record yako. Tuonyeshe OP ile mahali uliandikisha kwa polisi wakati ng'ombe yako iliibiwa. Tarehe lazima tuonyezwe, kituo cha polisi ambayo iliandikizwa, na kama uko na picha ya hiyo ng'ombe ama hiyo mifugo utuonyeshe hiyo picha ili tulinganishe na ile ng'ombe ambayo tuko nayo hapa.
Elsewhere, 4 startups have secured an opportunity to pilot their innovations at the Konza Technopolis in a bid to provide solutions for the residents and investors setting up the smart city. 99 Kenyan startups and 4 from Israel had applied for the challenge.
4 startups which emerged winners at the just concluded Konza Innovation Challenge 2021 will be seeking to provide various smart solutions for about 30,000 residents expected in the Techno City. Personal Watchguard, Ekral Hub and HPass businesses from Kenya are expected to pilot their innovations on intelligent asset management, smart parking management and access management respectively. The 4th startup from Israel, Step Here, assistive accessibility technology, will be offering its services on traffic management. The Innovation Challenge was jointly hosted by the Konza Technopolis Development Authority and Embassy of Israel in Kenya. The challenge attracted 99 nominations from Kenya and 4 from Israel. Cabinet Secretary for ICT Joe Musheru and Israel Ambassador to Kenya Oded Joseph presided over the awards ceremony.
This is the beginning, and I'm looking forward to seeing many more innovations coming through, and especially here at Konza, where this is going to be really the example for the rest of the country.
According to African Tech Startups Funding Report 2020, Kenyan tech startups raised a record amount of funding in 2020, securing a combined total of 19.1 billion shillings. Daniel Masiza, TV47.
Let's get to some international news now. And Israeli military pounded Gaza with airstrikes throughout the early hours of Tuesday in a dramatic escalation of clashes between Israel and Gaza. Explosions shook buildings throughout Gaza, and rocket sirens sent Israelis in many southern towns scurrying for shelter. The death toll is rising, with at least 28 Palestinians killed and more than 100 wounded in airstrikes. Palestinian officials said at least 6 Israelis were wounded by a rocket. Medics have also confirmed